All right, y'all, let me tell you a little story, a little secret about Haiti that my brother shared with me. He was a few years older than me. When I went into 10th grade, he went into the Army, and that was 92 or so. I graduated in 95, but he was in the Army. He was in the 10th Mountain. He went down to Haiti around 93 or 94, and he got hurt down there. His story of getting hurt was wind shear caught like a Jeep or a Humvee that they were lowering down, and he got pinned between the Humvee and the truck that they're putting it on or whatever. Anyways, that's his story. All right. So the story in Haiti that he told me a couple years after he got out, and he told me never to tell anybody the story. And the look on his eyes and the way he told me, I can't help but believe it. All right. So he told me, when you go on Wikipedia and such or whatever, it says that president left office and yada yada. Well, I'm going to tell you why he left office. My brother told me, and I believe he told me it was him, his higher up, and this other dude. It could have been as many as 5 people, but they went in to that president or leader's house at that time, and they did things to the wife and the child for that man to get the fear in him to step down. And then lo and behold, he's gone, I think, in 94. But there's many things that I know this country's done, and it's coming out now with the CIA being involved in Kennedy and all these other things. But these things are just showing me the things that I've studied. There is another side of history, and there are things that happen, and there are things that take place that the normal person doesn't know. I mean, as far as my knowledge, I don't even think my brother told his wife that story. He told me nobody knew that story except for the people that went into and did what they did. But there's many things in my life that my brother's taught me. And he died in 2018. And after his death, there was a cardinal that showed up at my work. I worked at my farm, and this cardinal showed up every day after he died, a couple months later. And it would just land on my window, and it'd peck, peck, peck. It'd just be there all day long, pecking on the mirror, pecking on the mirror. And it'd be the passenger side mirror. As soon as I pull up, this cardinal would land and peck, peck, peck. So, I found out later on, about a year later, right? This cardinal came around for like 2 years, but I found out a year later that a lot of times when somebody dies and you grieve them a bunch, that you may have a cardinal or another type of bird or whatever come up and give you a sign that they're with you or whatever, right? So it's things like this that have taught me and have shown me some of these reveals I've shared with y'all about heaven and earth being here, and the Bible saying what it says, and everything tying in together, because there's a little bit of truth in all these things we're told, but there's a whole bunch of lie that covers up these things, okay? And I know that my brother was saved because we talked many times, a few times in our like adult years, but many times throughout our lifetime, we've talked about going to heaven and being saved or whatever. But when we got a little older, a few times he talked to me about he couldn't wait to die because he wanted his new body, because he wanted out of the pain that he was in, because he had I think 8 back surgeries or whatever, but he was in a lot of pain, physically and mentally, because he never met his dad, and just a bunch of weird stuff. And there's been a bunch of things taught to me through the Spirit, through his death, and knowing that we are both saved, and knowing that we both had that foundation, and he couldn't wait to be with the Lord, even though he didn't want to leave his children behind, okay? The things being taught to us today are to keep us blind. And they keep us blind, and they keep us in fear, because the world doesn't want us to know these things, because it needs to control man, and it needs man to be in fear. But as man is rising in frequency, and there's men going lower in frequency, then the earth is evolving, and it's going to take who it wants with it, and it's going to take out who it wants with it. So this is that spiritual battle, y'all, where it's where you need to come out of it. You need to come out of it, and you need to drop everything that you're holding on to and come out of it. All right? And step by step, we've all had to do this, or hopefully, I mean, if you've been waking up since like 2001 when the alarm clocks went off, it's been a slow step or a journey for each individual. Some of us gone further down into the darkness, some of us come to the light. So as this light comes to us, everybody is on their own journey. Some of us has been on a lifelong journey. Some of us has been doing the journey for a couple years. It doesn't matter, but if you ask, you will receive. All right? So whatever you're missing, you need to ask for that. And don't ask for it in an earthly aspect. Ask for it in a spiritual aspect, because the things that's going on right now is all spiritual. You need to be able to see what's going on. You need to understand what's going on. You need to be able to hear what's going on. You need to be able to feel what's going on, okay? These 4 spirits control the world, the 4 horsemen, and they connect to the foreheads and the 4 chambers, and they connect to the 4 senses, and the taste is like objectionable, right? Depends how much salt you eat, depends how much sugar you eat, depends on if something is too sweet or too salty. So the taste is not necessarily controlled by the 4 horsemen, all right? The 4 horsemen control the flavors, but it doesn't necessarily control how you interpret it, all right? So we need to be able to trust our senses, all right? And this is where the Baal worship comes in, because the Baal worship wants to control your senses. And this is where you get people ball worship, where they think they're living on a cartoon space ball. All right. And this cartoon space ball does not exist. It is a flat, seems to be an infinite plane. And we're covered with a firmament, and there's water above us. And I will end the video here. But I'm going to make another video that gets into the space stuff. Okay?